Is it on now? Thinking about it.
What is
Is it
that?
recording? What does that mean?
Are you sure that's recording?
Well, it says 00 and it was red before.
Yeah, press the button.
It said
Now
I pressed that button to turn it on.
Yeah, so welcome back to another episode of our bench racing semi-series that we were very serious about doing one time and then only made one video of. On this week we are discussing the post-nut clarity of racing.
Yeah.
And we just came off the back of a couple of very big race meets. Well, actually, admittedly, they were a couple of weeks back. I wanted to do an episode last weekend, but it was a public holiday, meaning doing other things that didn't involve breakfast with camera or
and there's no
breakfast.
No breakfast involved.
We film these on Saturday mornings. That's why we take the dog out
for breakfast.
Coming off the back of Kenda, I had a car that ran perfectly fine. I didn't really have any dramas with it. I had Kenda's. A couple of little things I wanted to change on it, which wasn't really anything too badly. So naturally I pulled the car apart and it barely runs again. I'll probably focus on trying to get that running the way that I want it to so I can take it out to a car show. Oh, it's a car show. This is the Jake and Friends equivalent of Al from the Skid Factory's Womp Switch. Yeah, I'm gonna put my car back together, get it ready for that, make sure it's good. It's leaking oil from somewhere that shouldn't have oil in it. I want to try and clean that out. There's oil in the subframe. It's been consistently losing oil from the subframe for years now, but the motor's dry. And it's been like 2 motors ago it was leaking oil from the same point in the subframe. It's a f***ing mystery. I'm honestly thinking about replacing the subframe. I think there's a cavity full of oil in it. Or there's like a crack in the block somewhere that I can't see.
It needs a lot.
Just push oil.
Or just get rid of the power steering, change the subframe. It's
Engine oil,
tube
it's not.
Get rid of the power steering, change the engine
Not
oil
power
to tube.
steering.
If you change the subframe to tube and put a manual rack in it, you will absolutely fix the oil leak.
Baby had nowhere to sit.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd find out where it's coming from. Yeah, so your car's all
It's almost back together. It was running.
yeah,
last
your
night.
car will be back together today. My car certainly won't be.
I'm just not happy with the injector data I'm using. I spoke to Sean about it and he gave me one and I'm honestly not overly happy with the data that he said to use either, so I'm going to fiddle around with that a bit more. Probably just going to message him and be like, hey, when you got time to take my car back before Kenda, next round of Kenda. I was going to go to Rolls next weekend. I'm still really on the fence about that.
You're going to Rolls next week and you get your finger out.
What, change my front wheels?
Oh, you need to get a tune. You're going to get put on the dyno before then?
Yeah, I'm going to be fine. Well, I could change the whole thing to just run that one set of injectors into the front perfectly. I wouldn't be able to overpower those injectors on Rolls. Well, I fucked around my car a bit. Started like doing some very, I wouldn't say whole-ass, I wouldn't say half-ass, but I don't know. I started pulling useless weight out of the car. Something that I've not really bothered doing in the past. It's not a huge amount, it's just a little bit here and there. Anything that's not being used or planning on being used is getting removed. Oh yeah, shout out to Top Shelf Performance Wiring. He gave me a really cool sticker. To a dude on Instagram, Madison. Yeah. Got in touch with me. He's like, you want to buy a shirt? I'm like, yeah. And then he sent me some stickers as well. That's a cool sticker. You want to talk about cars being pulled apart? Fox body.
Fox body is in a million pieces.
I don't think that we totally went over exactly how bad the transmission went.
Yeah, we really glossed over that. So
in that video we were like, oh, it makes a funny noise.
And we kind of glossed over the whole thing.
The converter looks like it's full of anti-seize.
The converter is very upset.
Oh, the anti-seize is...
Yes, there.
Look at the galling.
That's the bolt. That's not fine.
That's mint.
The gearbox itself would have seen some metal going through it from the converter, so I've got to rip the gearbox apart, take out the kit, pull that apart. Obviously, we sort of glossed over the fact because we didn't really want to touch on it too much, but we were overspeeding that G45 quite a large amount, and then we're asking more of it. So
did you get to a point where you like dumped all the CO2 in and it picked up like 10 pounds of back pressure and didn't make any more power?
Yeah. The 45 1350 was well and truly done. When we were in that 816 or 813, which I think it was 813, we were like, we're close, we may as well just go for it. And it turns out nothing was a fan of it. But admittedly, like none of the strategies that we said to do actually worked in the ECU. That the last one was actually exactly the same as the 813. Like we were trying to turn the nitrous to come back on and just rejected us, and you know, did a bunch of stuff like that. So, oh, there's a problem in there. Yeah, it's all ripped apart in a million pieces, but I've got a turbo sitting there now.
Oh yeah, shout out to
TurboTech Queensland for that. Ross and Darren down at TurboTech, they're fucking sick guys at Acacia Ridge. Yeah, now I've got a G47 for it, so it's a big boy turbo, and a Garrett wastegate. Yeah.
You gonna finger it?
How good. Thanks, TurboTech. Haven't even dropped it yet.
Oof, it's f***ing rear wheel on a G series.
All the airflow.
This was the big difference between a GDX and a G series. Right there. Takes out a ton of back pressure, which gives you more power.
Front pressure. So we've got to get up to steady fab at some point, new manifold made. So we're sort of on the fence as to, obviously we can make this thing go 790s pretty, not easily, but the steps we're taking aren't that far away from 790s. There's a lot of stuff on the rest of the car that is very not 790s. I think we're better off going to the track with the 47 on it and just running it on the 85 still. Oh, we're out of camshaft as well. Yeah,
I forgot about that.
You good, bro?
Do you know what? We're gonna readdress this in like 15 minutes.
We'll come back.
We took Luna to breakfast and she knows where we are. She wants to come out and come have some brekkie.
She'll just go to a shit.
We'll be back in a second.
She'll just go to a shit in the garden.
Where were we? We were talking about
Mustang things.
the other thing, the direction that your car was heading in up until we saw the point score on the Kenda board was it was going to get a methanol conversion and bigger injectors and stuff.
And it still could end up going down that way, but I kind of think we should run it very similar to the way it was before with the turbo was done and the converter was obviously screwed.
On the 85 there was enough fuel to run that new setup on the 85.
We were at 78% duty cycle in the injectors, so there's still a little bit to go. The camshafts were done. They won't work with revs. They're done at about 82, 8300 RPM.
That G45 made my GDX 47 look pretty average, but the one thing my 47 did is it didn't fall over when it got beyond a certain point. The G45 seemed to just hit a brick wall. Mine tapers off.
We could have gone to one of the bigger G45s, but at this point in time, the G47, the idea of it is we built the turbo kit to suit the G47. It's the same external size all the way up to 55, so this will be the last externally sized turbo that goes in the car. Whether it goes, may end up getting a 55 one day, who knows, but everything will fit. The manifolds, everything like that will still work. So obviously that turbo is going to want to work at a higher RPM range, whereas the cams can't. So we're going to change a few things around the engine bay, move it all around. Probably going to put a water to air intercooler on it now rather than the air to air, just because we know we're going to go water to air in the future anyway, so we might as well do it now. That way it's all done and the turbo kit's already designed around it. The car's never going to be a street car, so we've ticked that box and said that's not going to happen. I'm going to put like a little radiator in and stuff and really get after it. I'm going to pull the all the Ford wiring harness out and change all that, and I'm probably going to try and dump a little bit of weight out of it as well. I don't think I'll go too crazy yet, but I think if we can, I was going to do Mayhem. Still on the fence about trying to do Mayhem. It's 8 weeks away, but it's a lot of work to get done in 8 weeks, so I don't really think we need to stress to make one meeting.
But the flip side of that is like you don't want to lose momentum at the same rate. Because if you're like, oh, we can either bust ass and try and do it in 8 weeks and get there with a fresh car and a fresh setup trying to go rotate the earth when I drop the button. Or there's the flip side of that, which is like, oh, you can wait till next year, and it's currently September. Which is going to turn into another one of those projects that never goes anywhere.
Well, that's exactly. It wasn't going to be ready for Mayhem. It's not going to be ready for anything else because you don't drag race in December. It's way too hot. Our real season style thing doesn't start up till about March next year. Which, of course, you say, oh, that's so much time to get your car ready, but you don't do anything until February. You to like mid-February.
You discover like stock shortages.
Mid to early February, Justin will release a schedule. Calendar of where everyone's going to race. We're going to go, hey, that's in 3 weeks. We need to get this car together and not have anything together on the car. I want to be able to do a run and not have to think.
Now, what was the benchmark discussion we had with Jesse and Terry the other day? It was like, you just want to be able to drive it back up the return road without a new noise.
I want to drive from the pit bay and drive back to the pit bay without a new noise, a new smell, and with oil pressure. Even the number of runs on the board isn't really that important at this point. Just want to go down the track and come back with it not screwed up.
This car is just an assault on the senses. Smells, sounds, visuals.
That should be pretty cool when it's done though. We should be well and truly hunting that 7. The biggest thing with my car is that the 60 foot is so awesome and so good in that car, being that the fact that it's a Fox body. It's literally 60 feet to 330 feet. That is right in that 270 feet. My car falls over. It loses it there. Everything else is good. Like the car went 515 at 135 mile an hour. Some guys are going, like these guys that are going 4s are going 145 mile an hour. So like it's literally the power that I just don't have at the moment. This turbo will help. That's the road we're going down.
Better weight distribution as well, because we can put it where it needs to be from the start.
So like at the moment we run a bunch of weight in the front of the car. So now we're gonna move the turbo down the front and stuff like that to hopefully not have to run that weight. So we don't have to run the ballast there. That's another 20-30 kilos we don't have to take with us on the trip. I'm gonna put a lithium battery in it, so it's gonna take a bunch of weight out of it.
I want to do that too.
16 volt, no alternator.
Yeah, I'm not going to go the no alternator thing. When I was pulling weight out of my car recently, I was like trying to work out exactly where to stop, whether I go full.
But think about how heavy.
Start ripping shit.
Think about how heavy an alternator is.
And then I was like, as I'm ruining my back doors, I'm like, you know what? Drag and drive. That's where I'm going to draw the line, because like you're the only one of my friends recently that's decided to go the route of outright race car, whereas every one of my other friends that I usually go to track with all drag and drive.
So my biggest gripe with the whole street car thing was the fact that you couldn't use it. You couldn't race it. Like oh, you can't use it. But you can use a street car. And it's like, yeah, I get that. We're at a point in drag racing at the moment where we're almost spoiled for choice, and I've set the car up in a way that it can be used at any of the events. Yeah. It can do jamborees, it can do QDRCs and NDRCs and IHRA events, and it can also do kenders. If I really wanted to, I could race it to the point where I'm broke. Like I couldn't afford to race it so much. So
pretty quick too. Like that's.
Oh yeah,
race until you're broke, man. Like that's
yeah. One meeting and done.
Yeah, oh yeah. The thing that I like about drag and drive though is he changed parts on the car. Like where am I going to test it? It's going to go for a drive around the block, make sure it doesn't make a noise, make sure it goes in gears and changes and.
So I'm just good mates with Matty. Keep using the dyno.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, it's not impossible to get on a dyno, but like, you know, how are you going to test your wheel line on a dyno?
I didn't test the wheel line before, they're not on the ground.
How are you going to test? Yeah, that's a good point. Well, your rear still needs a lining.
That's a Danny problem right up until this point, and then it becomes a me problem really fast.
Moving forward, coming up, we're going to be doing Kenda. I'm 100% going to be doing Kenda round 3.5.
4.
3.5.
It's 4.
3.5. No, round 1 didn't really care.
Carnage in the cane fields.
Yeah, up in Mackay, which is going to be exciting because none of us have ever been there before. And it's going to be even more exciting to know that this like borderline dirt track's going to be prepped. They're going to be trying to send 3-second cars down it. It's probably going to be something interesting to watch for a change. The big thing with radial racing and why it's not more popular, in my opinion, is because it's a driver's sport, not a spectator sport. That's why NPK works so well and Kenda doesn't pull the same kind of crowd, even though the MPK was full of the same kind of cars that we have.
Yeah, but the same kind of cars that we have, we're getting loose and doing dumb shit, whereas in Kenda, the track's prepped and it just goes boom, or it goes ring, and then cruise down the track. It's either going to go light the scoreboards on fire, or it's not. I'm on the fence about doing Midnight Mayhem. If we do that, obviously, we'll take cameras and stuff with us. If the car gets done for then, I guess.
We'll probably try and release more of these drive around, talk videos because they're really nice and easy to make and they're really super simple and they fill in content in between races. I notice a lot like when we go to the track and people come over and ask us a question that I thought we explained very clearly and then realise that not only did I not explain it very clearly, I didn't explain it at all.
Yeah, so if you guys have any like questions or whatever, just keep pumping them in comments and stuff and we'll answer them as we do more of these. Yeah, there's probably not going to be so much build stuff, but we will probably take the camera with us to take the Fox body to Toowoomba when Steedy does the manifold. We'll probably take a camera for that.
Whose lotion is that?
Whose lotion?
Is that communal lotion?
Is it?
Can we grab a bit?
We just borrow
a squeeze?
Can we borrow a bit, bro? Well,
I don't think he'd mind.
I don't think he would. He's a nice
Christians
guy.
Are pretty cool.
He's a nice guy. He's pretty cool. The car's going to go to spot on for a little bit too, get some tubing put in the front, probably get videos and stuff like that.
And Danny being on camera, but Andy loves making Danny uncomfortable.
He does, yeah.
It's great.
Just look, let's be real. Probably going to try and make November. Keep saying I'm not going to.
I want you to make November.
I'm probably going to enter November today, and then.
I love the idea of watching you drive a car down while I fly like Matty did to us last time.
The biggest disappointing thing about driving a car, going to November at the moment, is because Willowbank's shut and doing what it's doing, we can't go test the car at all. Can't do anything to test the car besides go to. But what are you going to test on the street? You can't test a 60 foot here.
No, you can't. You don't need to test it. Your car 60 foot's fine. You just want to test
it. How do you know it's going to 60 foot with a G47 on it? We have no idea.
It's nitrous.
Yeah, but we have no idea until we try it.
Exactly. So there's a
So you have to try it on a good track.
No, we'll just put some glue down right here.
If we're gonna put glue down right here, what does it matter if the car's registered or not? We're gonna get regardless.
We're gonna get fine. It's one less fine. Out of all of them, it's
No,
one
it's
less
not.
fine.
It's
One less.
no, because the car would get defected. They can't defect cars not registered.
Yeah, no, but you can't get a $1,000 fine for a registered car.
Yeah, but you can't get your car crushed for having a roll cage in it because it's illegal because it's not registered.
But if they build the cage properly, your car's not gonna get crushed. Anyways, we'll be back next week, maybe. No, we'll be back next week. Do another one of these videos and hopefully update on the 2 cars and see where they're going. In the meantime, enjoy these little clips of dumb shit I've been getting up to in my car lately. And that, thanks.
Enjoy that.
That was painted, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all black.
Oh,
That was this colour.
oh wow. That's the other cool thing about cars at this level is like, there's not even an implied warranty.
Glad the thing was in that, the safety pin.
You just knock it out.
Yeah.
You big potato. Oh, look at that little gearbox over here. The fucking void stickered fucking power glide shield.
Whoa.
It's got void written all over it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it actually?
Yeah. Can you not see that?
No.
I think what they mean is avoid breaking it.
Yeah, I think that's what they meant.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's Jamie's old car.
Yeah.